Damane President Barrow, project the independence of the Highway project we begin a town of Venezuela, we begin a federal of Venezuela, we begin a chairman of Venezuela. From Damane, that's the President Barrow, but I know 2021. Thank you.
May the Almighty Allah continue to guide and accept our prayers. Amen. I now have the opportunity to welcome the Alcalo of Bansang to come and give us his welcome remarks.
Le président na la délégation be kon
oyi mosalmina président e délégation makko mo ardi o fof
be bismillah
oyi amo yaɓe bisimillah mosalmina ɓe fof
ñinde ñin kedandelde sewo kubaɗe
oyi ɗum ɗo wonani minen weltare mawde
kadu e former président o
oyi président jawtuɗo o
kari woro kadula kutoyele
oyi dulaji lebbi jeegom fof lebbi jeegom amo udita dulaji kesi
bar président Barrow la siwni sainte
oyi kono président Barrow fiya joni e haade
karsaba o karsaba kadula kuto
Oli deputy for deputy oyatina dule hesere.
banko mol bajela
Oli deputy yimbe na mamala.
Minister of Fisheries
Oli minister of fisheries.
be konton na ile bara ko me ba ke ka
Oli wasalina e golle mono mote de matorte.
be jayla be tentu
Ade tamina on bese be mo awte dunga de sala lidia di mono.
kusa ba rone be mbulu si president dani men
Oli ko ke tati ojogi de o fota na ta president.
na imbango opa fula du jang
Oli opa fula do.
kata lo fula du
Kaya no fula.
ay ma ko fida roto
Oli ya watu men fida rodde.
silete na jang
La bigara.
ay ma ko woto
Ya watu men dunga bigara.
ko fula jang
Oli gede di menye.
na kitidal men kata jang
Oli nyawo de alo gade.
ikapo magistrate court
Oli ya magistrate court.
anin kali court
Akani ekani court.
grate bud
Bengala dulade.
kati be dame
Oli do de mondo.
jemu sefo la kitu
Don kon chef oje don.
adun jemu banta bale
Don ko bata.
ni be kitola
So dai be nyawo.
diamo be iroko do
Hara dina wala legato.
ko police o funda ya fo mola yal ko
Koma police o ya hinde be male sese.
balne dula soto
Ko so tay be ke bi dula.
mote batande
Ay go no tapinta don.
asibete abake
Don ta na mo ino bese.
me president dan law
Oli ya mo na ko malum an president.
yo kumo sawa nyang
Oli di mo go tara mo go.
na loptano
Oli do bitano.
isimma ko e faran konne kuranga
Oni kambe de balla de kurde bawa ete kura kawa manga da jama ina roma.
isimma ko wala
Balla de kundo no bese.
ngoy no pusawa
Oni no ma bede tati.
bay bitu nan ko nani nyam
Oni bede na yenge.
wo kala menti
Oni ko mo na tatu.
na jam na primary school
Oni primary school o.
Gabriel 1947
Kabi gila 1947.
mukara mo yenta
O school o biti.
bani dunda je bi
Kono sa dai adani ma don hande.
ide la je yube
Ayi da 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 bito.
ala education minister
Pour no wahini. Education minister.
ay ma ko
Mala do don.
ye ko ba fe na karamo
Njekito don a school o no bete.
na karamo
Karamu school o yo njekito mo.
ambe jabaten dula
Oni mo sai na jama ko.
met jaila
Omo jama on kadi.
ni na mun na ko mo
Oni ko do wono ko ngol ma ko.
ya bar
Wassalam.
Thank you, the Alcalo of Bansang, Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of the Gambia, Mr. Adama Barrow, Lady Sadio Mbalo Barrow, Honorable Ministers, Secretary General, colleagues, permanent secretaries, the governors, representative of the UN system in the Gambia, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. As master of this ceremony and as permanent secretary, Ministry of Fisheries and Water Resources, let me take this opportunity to welcome you to Bansang in my capacity as a citizen of Bansang. I am elated. I am very, very happy as permanent secretary to have such a facility in Bansang, where I originate. We have long since been yearning for such a facility, but I am happy that Bansang is the hub for the coordination of hydrological monitoring activities for the Gambia. This hub is going to serve all the regions monitoring hydrological activities. So, on my personal note, Your Excellency, once again, I'm very happy to welcome you to my hometown, and all of you for that matter. My uncle, the governor of Central River Region, Honorable Governor.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of the Gambia, Mr. Adama Barrow. My task is to welcome people to this gathering or to this meeting. But again, the Permanent Secretary, who is my own Barimbengo, and likewise a citizen of Bansang, did one, and the Alikali did the second. But it's not bad for me to do the third, as the governor of CRR. High Excellency, Madam Barrow, Honorable Ministers present, Secretary General, Secretary to Cabinet, Permanent Secretaries, Advisors to the President, Security Services, Security Chiefs, my Technical Advisory Committee, my co-sister governor from URR, who are also invited to make a vote of thanks today at Lamenkoto. All protocols duly and respectfully observed. Today, as we inaugurate this edifice in front of us, Your Excellency, I would wish to recall one incident during my life career when I was at Gambia College, and in our final year you are requested to write a project. In that project, I opted to write my project on rainfall and rainfall patterns in the Gambia for 10 years, that is from 1976 to 1986. An interesting episode. The best place I could go to get the information was at the Hydromet office in Barrow. Thank you, Honorable Minister and your staff, for supporting this project. Your Excellency, day before yesterday, we inaugurated a college at Basse. We also inaugurated the road at Pasamas, and today we'll be inaugurating the same road at Lamenkoto. Let's see the link between the college, as I have said. When I was at college, I had to write this project on hydrology. Today we are inaugurating the hydrology office in Bansang. Therefore, those people who are going to be in college at Basse can equally utilize the facility here rather than going all the way to Banjul. And the access is going to be easy. You can either go through the north or you go through the south. If you wish, you can be crisscrossing. There's a ferry in Yamina, there's a ferry in Makati, there's a ferry in Bansang, there's a ferry at Basse, there is a bridge at Basse, another bridge at Fatoto. So you can easily cross the country to get your research done. This facility can greatly enhance research and higher education as a transdisciplinary science in this country. And it shall also improve the Gambian hydrology studies at national and international levels, promoting innovative projects and offering the first port of call for practitioners. As this edifice we inaugurate today is a route to complete decentralization of projects and development across the country. We would have been going all the way to Banjul or all the way to Brikama to wait and get information from the hydrology office. Today, this office here we are inaugurating is going to supply information across all the regions of this country. Thank you, Your Excellency, and the Ministry of Fisheries. It is no doubt that this facility shall carry out basic scientific duties and functions as may be assigned by the ministry, and also give apt advices to its sister ministries like agriculture, education, environment, and energy. These institutions are all linked to the usefulness of this edifice we are inaugurating here today. And it shall promote the scientific foresight and integrity in exchange of opinion by the science and the society. As the information comes from the society to the unit, and from the unit to the society, the interaction avails the people to know about the utilities of. You see, Your Excellency, I wish to speak in the local language. That's where I prefer. Well, Your Excellency, distinguished guests present here, it is important for us to note that this office's success depends entirely on all citizens of the Gambia, more so the officers that are going to be posted here. Climate change is imminent and is a natural phenomenon. Due to our activities, and this office shall be there to provide advice and information timely. This hydrology office is therefore undoubtedly predestined to look with a sharp eye in the future of this country. We all, and the whole world almost, depends partially on hydrology offices because the information they give to the general public is always vital and is for their own security as well. Finally, Your Excellency, I wish to conclude that science being so complex, I would offer 4 lines to this office. 1, I pray that these officers and the staff of the ministry grow up with a lot of spirit and creativity, but also to understand that we should spend little time on paper and meetings. And they should also be availed with the opportunity to have the tenacity to ask for request contributions and dealing with financial matters. And I pray for them a lot of joy and satisfaction. Your Excellency, once again, I welcome you to CRR and more specific Bansang and all other protocols equally and undoubtedly welcome to CRR. I welcome you all to CRR. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Governor. I want to assure you that my team that is coming to work here will be collaborating with your office, will liaise with you on any issues of national interest, and I'm happy that Pinnacle Group has done a very wonderful job here. So now I have the opportunity to welcome the consultant to come and give us a statement.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic, Mr. Adama Barrow, Your Excellency, Madam Lady Sajo Malo Barrow, Honorable Minister of Water Resources, Mr. James Gomez, Honorable Ministers and members of the Cabinet here present, Honorable members of Parliament also here present, Governor of the Central River Region, and all other governors here present, United Nations Resident Representative, Madam Aissata Dié, venerable religious leaders, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, all other protocols duly and respectfully observed. I feel elated and grateful to Allah for being associated with this project entitled Secure Provincial Hydrological Based Network Station at Bansang from its very inception all the way to its final completion. Before proceeding to give a summary of the genesis of the project and its key elements, I wish to first of all crave the indulgence of His Excellency the President and this august gathering to offer silent prayers for 2 people who have played very important roles towards the realization of this project during both its design and construction phases, and who have sadly passed on in recent years before the full accomplishment of the project. They are the late site caretaker of the Department of Water Resources for this compound, Mr. Suleiman Kurubali, and the late Alcala of Bansang, Alaji Kewa Kora. Both have played very important roles towards the realization of the project by being host to the study design team and the civil works contractors at various times during implementation of the project. I recall that this project was being implemented simultaneously as the rehabilitation of the drainage system for Bansang. and Alhaji Kewa Kora played a very, very dynamic role in the realization of both projects. I kindly ask your fervent prayers for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant them both eternal peace in Jannatul Firdaus. Your Excellency, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, by UNDP request for proposals dated 13th November 2015 and followed by a competitive tendering process, Cityscape Associates was engaged as consultant for the project for the design and supervision of construction of works of secured provincial hydrological-based network station at Bansang and rehabilitation of hydrological observation facilities at Chamen, Jahali, and at Bromen. The contract for the design and construction supervision was signed in April 2016, paving the way for the commencement of the study design phase. The necessary site investigations were then carried out, followed by the development of the design brief in close consultation with the team of Dr. Almami Kamara of the UNDP as project sponsor and Mr. Usman Jadisi of the Department of Water Resources as project beneficiary. The final design that has been translated to this edifice being inaugurated today was hence developed in close consultation with both project sponsor and the beneficiary so that their specific needs and requirements have been fully accommodated. In regard to its design concept, the Bansang Hydrological Station is perceived as a community, a homestead, and an entity set on a three-faceted functional design platform. Primarily, it is to provide a workstation and equipment for the rendition of meteorological and hydrological monitoring services. Secondly, to accommodate within its confines the station's workforce. And thirdly, by the provision of a multipurpose hall to offer a venue for official meetings and social gatherings, staff or community related, or both. I will at this juncture briefly digress to recognize the key players of my team during this first phase of the project, namely my project architect Oku Ita, my project engineer Ken Johnson, my CAT specialist Malamin Kamara, construction manager Mohamed Bitey, and regional coordinator Mr. John Juf. Moving on, the final design was tendered for implementation by the UNDP in August 2017, with the Pinnacle Group emerging the winner for the implementation of the civil works for the initial contract price of $19,954,000, with the construction works effective 12 September 2017. Cityscape Associates' role as project supervisor and engineer, in addition to head office support, was accomplished through its permanent site representative, Mr. Mohamed Hussein, himself a resident of Bansang and here present today. Works implementation was carried out in two phases, so timed according to when additional funding became available. Phase 1 was implemented in the period between 21st September 2017 to October 2018, which had included a no-cost extension from 8 April 2018. Facilities constructed under Phase 1 were the office building, the junior staff quarters, senior staff quarters, and the boundary fencing. Phase 2 was implemented in the period between 1st November 2018 to 31st December 2019. The facilities implemented under Phase 2 are the multipurpose hall, the generator house, the security post, the banter bar, and the PV tanks on elevated concrete support structure. and external landscaping also carried out, comprising of driveways, grass lawns at a total cost of $6.9 million. The overall project construction cost is in the amount of $26,903,000. I'll give a brief summary of the accommodation provided in the different facilities. The office complex accommodates 4 offices, but has capacity for 10 workstations. It has spacious lobbies, a kitchenette, stores, veranda spaces, and male and female conveniences. Senior staff quarters, which spans 2 floors, comprising of 4 self-contained accommodation units, each having 2 bedrooms, toilet facilities, dining and lounge, store, and kitchenette. The junior staff quarters, which is designed in a traditional courtyard layout arrangement and spans 2 floors, provides 10 single accommodation units, each comprising of ensuite bedroom, kitchenette, lobby, and veranda. Other facilities within the junior staff quarters include a common TV room, laundry area, and spacious verandas and lobbies. The multipurpose hall with accommodation capacity for about 110 persons, and the banter bar for outdoor seating and landscaping works. I must at this point record appreciation for the dedication and due diligence of the project contractor, Pinnacle Group, who have left no stone unturned in ensuring that the works are executed as per specifications and in full observance of all the rules of the trade, within the set time limits and allocated budgets for the 2 project phases. Your Excellency, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, please allow me to now conclude by stating the following. Our grateful thanks to the UNDP and the Department of Water Resources for trusting us with all the design and implementation responsibilities for this project. I want to state also that this is a 100% homegrown product designed and supervised by Gambian firms and fully implemented by the Pinnacle Group, which is a Gambian firm also, and relying heavily on locally available building materials. There's a point I would like to make also as a possible project enhancement measure requiring the attention of the Department of Water Resources, and that is in regard to the limitation of the land space. The size of the site vis-a-vis the number of facilities is limiting and does not allow for more generous green spaces between the buildings. This has resulted in the vertical extension of both the junior staff quarters and the senior staff quarters. In the same vein, future expansion of the Bansang station will be hindered, feasible only if part of the lands contiguous to it could be procured from private owners. We recommend that the Department of Water Resources should engage with the local authority and landowners to seek extension of the land space, especially towards the Gambia River to our right as we're sitting in this direction. It will provide land space for further future expansion and allow for the installation of monitoring equipment at the river as may be required. The presence of the Minister of Local Government and Lands is noted, and we take pleasure from this in the sense that he could be engaged to tackle this head on. We would also recommend that the access road from the site to the main road is widened and bitumen surfaced, basically looking at the future in terms of this center being a regional hub of excellence for the services that it will be providing. I know the presence of the Minister of Works also, so I think this is a take-home for him also. Finally, we wish to counsel for due attention to be devoted to the maintenance and aftercare of the facility in order to safeguard the investment that should serve very well into the future. I pray for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless this facility always, and also all those who work and take a bone within its confines. Inshallah. Thank you very much for your kind attention.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Gay of Cityscape Associates. I know it's windy, but today is a very important day for us. And let me tell you, the consultant, that the recommendations that you have highlighted will be put on board. Now I would want to call Mr. Habib Jeng of Pinnacle Group.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Your Excellency, President Adama Barrow, President of the Republic of the Gambia, Your Excellency, Madam Sajo Mbalo Barrow, National Assembly members here present, members of the Diplomatic and Consular Corps here present, construct this facility. The client, for their support throughout the construction period, to the client, I want to reiterate that we are very good as Gambians in building up infrastructure, but our maintenance culture is abysmal. Taking cue from the rule of thumb, setting aside $500,000 annually will cater for the maintenance requirement of this facility adequately. To the consultant, we cannot thank you enough for your tireless efforts to ensure quality and timely realization of the project. What we see today clearly manifests your endeavors. Special thanks to the resident engineer, Mr. Sen. To my staff at Pinnacle Group, I say a big bravo. But let me hasten to say this is the beginning. For if we want to develop as a nation, indigenes have to take their rightful positions, and our industry is not an exception. As a matter of fact, I am of the school of thought that a nation can only be built by its people. To conclude, I say I'm convinced, and I dare say, that I have seen light at the end of the tunnel. For I am convinced that we have a government, like all progressive and well-meaning government, who believes in local content. I thank you for your kind attention. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Without any further ado, I have the pleasure to invite the resident representative of the United Nations systems in the Gambia to come and deliver her handing over statement. Madam, please, you have the floor.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum. Your Excellency, President Adama Barrow, Honorable Minister of Fisheries, Water and National Assembly Matters, all honorable ministers who are here, agriculture, environment, you name it, local development, I cannot list you all. Multilateral Environment Agreement focal points, United Nations colleagues, because we are together with UNEP, UNFPA, WFP on this, honorable religious leaders, dear media partners, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I am deeply honored to be here for the inauguration of this hydrological headquarters in Bansang. The construction of this complex was supported under the early warning system project jointly, as mentioned, implemented by UNDP and the United Environment Program with the fundings of the GEF, which is a global environment facility. With the Gambian particularly vulnerable for the increasing frequency and severity of droughts, floods, windstorm, and other climate change events. The purpose is to fully have an operational early warning system in the Gambia at the institutional level in an effort to serve local communities. I think the governor has mentioned how integrated the actions that are initiated at local level have to be to address climate vulnerabilities in all regions. The establishment of this complex was an activities under the UNDP component for the project I just mentioned, and it's one of the biggest achievements with an investment of over $26 million. Your Excellency, Mr. President Barrow, ladies and gentlemen, the complex area as a coordinating hub for all other hydrological stations in the country due to its central location. It plays a central role in monitoring surface water quality in the whole country. The newly built accommodation that we'll be visiting in few minutes will allow more staff to stay in Bansang for longer periods, thus ensure more accurate and detailed water quality assessment. The new offices, space, and conference room will allow for the convening of crucial events, knowledge sharing, and information gathering throughout the country, and why not with neighboring country. UNDP looks forward to seeing how the construction of this new complex positively impacts the work of the Department of Water Resources, and is hopeful that initiatives like this will accelerate the achievement of key sustainable development goals. You know, we are delighted because less than 2 months ago we were initiating the decade of action with more than 6 ministers. Most of them are present here, and I think this is one of the demonstrations of the action that will be implementing throughout the last decade for the achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals. Your Excellency, Mr. President, ladies and gentlemen, UNDP is extremely proud to have played a role in the establishment of this new complex, and would to acknowledge the private sector, the construction firm Pinnacle, and the supervising center City Space involved for their professionalism and hard work, and the project and the Department of Water Resources personnel for their commitment throughout the construction phases. I would like also to acknowledge the key role played by my colleagues who are in the environment team headed by Mr. Almami Kamara. You all know Almami, thank you for your leadership on this, and Fatou for her tireless effort, and Abbas as well, and whole UNDP staff who remain committed to contribute and continue to support the development efforts of the Republic of the Gambia. Finally, I would like to reiterate that UNDP would like to congratulate again the government of the Gambia under your leadership, Your Excellency Mr. President Barrow, for the foresight and dedication that made this possible. Within this decade of action, we can assure you that the UNDP, together with all UN agencies, will at all levels make sure that all the efforts to invest on reducing vulnerabilities, inequalities, and make sure that the Sustainable Development Goals are a reality will be here for all tireless effort to accompany the government effort, as well as private sector and civil society, to achieve the new Gambia that all want. UNDP will continue to support the government in its effort to accelerate the achievement of the 2030 agenda, and therefore leave no one behind. I thank you very much. Albarka.
Thank you very much, UN Resident Rep. our relationship, our partnership with the United Nations systems here in the Gambia, we value them. But now I have the chance to call the Honorable Minister responsible for Fisheries, Water Resources and National Assembly matters, Honorable James F.P. Gomez, to come and give a statement. Honorable Minister, sir.
Assalamu alaikum. Your Excellency, the President, Mr. Adama Barrow, Lady Sajon Barrow, Honorable colleague ministers, Governor of Central Region, other governors and deputy governors here present, Honorable National Assembly members, the representative of the United Nations system in the Gambia, Secretary General and Head of the Civil Service, Permanent Secretaries and other government officials, directors and head of institutions here present, district chief and alcaldes, venerable religious leaders, national project coordinator, staff of the Ministry of Fisheries and Water Resources, the project steering committee members, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, the press, all other protocols observed. On behalf of the Ministry of Fisheries, Water Resources and National Assembly Matters, I wish to seize this opportunity to extend my sincere appreciation and gratitude to the President of the Republic of the Gambia, Mr. Adama Barrow, GRRG, for finding time out of his busy schedules to come and preside over the inauguration of this complex. I wish also to welcome you all to the inauguration of the Bansang Hydrological headquarters. I would like to thank the United Nations Development Program for funding the construction of this complex, which will enable the hydrology unit of my ministry to properly carry out its function of monitoring and regulating the water resources of our country. The Department of Water Resources is putting in place all efforts to provide the necessary improvement in the management of the nation's water resources and to establish a platform for informed and balanced decision-making on the water resources development and exploration. The government of the Gambia, through my ministry, has made important strides towards implementing the National Water Policy, which was formally endorsed in 2007. This policy fully embraced the paradigm referred as the integrated water resources management. Furthermore, with the aim of setting a stage for the implementation of the National Water Resources as IWRM roadmap for the Gambia was elaborated in 2008. Water resources have many different uses, ranging from people and their livelihood, agriculture, and healthy ecosystem. Therefore, requires coordination action. The IWRM approach is an open, flexible process, bringing together decision makers across the various sectors that impact on water and bringing all stakeholders to the table to set individual subsectoral policies and make sound, balanced decisions in response to specific water challenges we need. Although the Gambia apparently possesses sufficient water resources, which should make the country able to meet future requirements of water, the supply side as well as the demand side will have to be managed more carefully than at present. Measures are being put in place to ensure that water is used in a sustainable manner, and the new draft water bill, although recognizes access to water as a human right, also seek to manage the resources for generations on board. The water resources sector is comprised of a complex natural, technical, and social system, and a wide variety of different relationships between organizations and institutions. The Department of Water Resources is an obvious model institution for the coordination and regulation of all activities related to development and use of water resources, including abstraction and leasing. The draft water bill has provided the basics for this. There have been notable increase in water resources abstraction in the country. Though tidal and pump irrigation schemes along the river Gambia and through the drilling of boreholes for domestic and agricultural purposes. Most of these schemes are constructed without technical advice from the Department of Water Resources, thereby threatening our water resources. The new draft water bill recognizes this fact and once enacted will make it mandatory for all to obtain abstraction permit before the construction such schemes. Therefore, this facility could not have come at a more better time to assist my ministry in carrying out this important mandate. The construction of the complex, coupled with the hydrological equipment, water quality equipment, and training provided by the Climate Change Early Warning Phase 2 project, will in no doubt enable the Department of the Water Resources to properly issue advice on water resource exploration and recommend areas with such potentials. At the West African region level, the Gambia maintained a good neighbors water policy and provide regional cooperation through various working groups and initiatives, prominently as a member of ECOWAS and the Gambia River Basin Project Organization, or MVD. A case in point is the construction of the Sabongala Hydroelectric Power Project upstream on the Gambia River. The dam reservoir structure, when commissioned and the reservoir field starts, it will forever change the natural flow pattern of the Gambia River downstream of the dam. Mr. President, I want to pause here to make a special reference to the doubters. You said to us when we are opening the road the other day that we must allow those who want to talk, and your government will continue doing the work people have asked us to do. I want to confirm, and I'm happy to say that with the advent of your government in 2017, the Ministry of Fisheries, Water Resources and National Assembly Matters have been embarking on the implementation of water projects in the country. One of the flagships water project is the Gambia Climate Smart Rural Work Development Project. At a tune of $40 million, the project aims to increase access to safe and sustainable drinking water, sanitation and hygiene in the Gambia, and it will provide 144 water points on a system serving 270,981 inhabitants in 200 rural and peri-urban communities. Similarly, my minister is implementing the 5th phase of the Southeast Sahelian project and is intervening in 27 communities and in 6 regions, and will provide 42,921 inhabitants with safe potable drinking water this year. Additionally, my ministry has secured approval for funding to the tune of $16 million from the Japanese government to provide 20 communities with safe drinking water supply, benefiting 47,827 inhabitants overall. In total, we will be providing water for 361,729 inhabitants during this year. All these projects are designed to deliver the objective through the integrated water resources management approach in your NDP. In conclusion, on behalf of the Minister of Fisheries, Water Resources and National Assembly Matters, I want to express our support and gratitude to the United Nations Development Programme, United Nations Environment Programme, the Global Environment Facility, and the Government of the Gambia for funding the Climate Smart Early Warning Project Phase 2. I wish to extend sincere gratitude to the Project Steering Committee members and the institutions they represent for their support in ensuring the timely implementation of this project activity. Similarly, I would like to thank the consultants, City Space Associates, and the contractor, Pinnacle Group, for executing this construction of the hydrological headquarters. This is a clear indication that Gambian companies can indeed deliver at the highest level. I would like to further thank the Project Implementation Committee of the staff unit, staff of the Department of Water Resources for overall management of the climate change early warning project. Finally, I wish to thank the Governor of the Central River Region and his team on the ground, the organizing committee, and all those who assisted in one way or the other to make this occasion a success. I thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. We have had the projects that you are implementing in terms of providing the rural Gambia population with safe drinking water. It is not only just the provision of water, but we are also working with those communities to ensure that these facilities are sustainable. Development has to be sustainable. I now have the singular honor to welcome His Excellency, the President, Mr. Adama Barrow, GR/MJ, to come and deliver his statement. Your Excellency, sir.
Honorable Ministers, the resident representative of the United Nations system in the Gambia and staff, Secretary General and Head of the Civil Service, Permanent Secretaries, Directors and Heads of institutions here present, Governors, Chiefs and Alcalolu, the National Project Coordinator and staff of the Ministry of Fisheries and Water Resources. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to inaugurate this magnificent hydrological complex on behalf of the government of the Gambia for use by the Hydrology Division of the Department of Water Resources to monitor the water quality and quantity of the country. I would like to express our appreciation to the Global Environment Facility, GEF, and the United Nations Development Programme, UNDP, not only for their current assistance, but also for the support they have provided our country over many years. It is a partnership which has benefited many of our population, especially in the areas of climate change adaptation. This facility was constructed under the UNDP component of the GEF, UNDP UNEP, and the government of the Gambia, strengthening climate services and early warning systems Phase 2 project. This project is in conformity with the major climate change strategic documents of the Gambia. The National Communication Report provides information on projected impacts of climate change on key sectors of the national economy and on the potential adaptation options to climate change. The project is also highly consistent with the Gambia's national priorities and plans, as it reflects priority activities identified in both the Force National Communication and the NAPA. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the main challenge facing the country in the context of climate change is its high vulnerability to climate change and climate variability worsened by low capacity to address and adapt to the phenomenon. This low capacity is evident at all levels: local, regional, and national. Among the major barriers are the inability to effectively predict climate change events, assess potential impacts, and deliver short-term alerts or long-term warnings that can contribute to adaptive responses and development planning. The capacity of climate monitoring and collection of reliable data and information on climate change and the development of alerts and early warnings was low because of a number of infrastructural constraints and human capacity limitations, including inadequate numbers and quality of equipment, tools, and data processing hardware and software to collect and analyze climate information. Shortage of qualified personnel that can analyze data, transform process information into weather advisories and early warnings. Limited capacity at the local level for uptake of climate-related messaging and ability to respond to advisories and warnings. Many of these concerns have been addressed under this project and through other government interventions, thereby strengthening the early warning system in the Gambia. The Gambia is increasingly prone to windstorms, drought, floods, rainfall variability, coastal erosion, and sea level rise. When coupled with existing socio-economic challenges, these impact storm development and increase the country's vulnerability. As it is, the Gambia is a low-income country with a high dependence on agriculture, which make large segments of the population extremely vulnerable to erratic rainfall and other climate-induced events. Farmers have been experiencing shorter crop growing seasons due to drought and shallow wells that provide supplementary irrigation to their rain-fed systems drying out too early in the season. The overall impact in a precarious agriculture that repeatedly failed to meet household food security needs, resulting in some of the population being hungry. The tourism industry is a significant part of the economy, but it too is highly affected by weather-related events, beach erosion, and loss of indigenous wildlife and plants. Given the Gambia's resilience on climate-sensitive agriculture and natural resources, it is necessary to strengthen capacity to oversee, analyze, forecast, and disseminate information to enhance early warning systems for climate resilience development. This facility, consequently, will be used to serve as a hub for the collection of all hydrological data necessary for analysis and planning, and dissemination of such information to all key stakeholders. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, since water resources systems are dynamic and highly weather-driven, a prerequisite for any proper water resources planning and management initiatives is to have adequate and reliable knowledge about water resources. It is indispensable, therefore, that our water resources managers have access to updated and detailed assessment of the availability of the nation's water stock to be able to make informed decisions. Although the Gambia is blessed with sufficient water resources, we should make the country able to meet future demands, including requirements related to the economic development and social uplift of the population. Seasonal water scarcity occurs. Population growth, highly localized water demand to serve the tourism sector, irrigation requirements, growing commercial and industrial activities, and changes in land use practices cause a number of problems. As witnessed today, these take the form of degradation of the environment and depletion or pollution of the water resources, especially through saltwater intrusion. The Bansang Hydrological Headquarters will directly address the needs of the country in terms of advising the relevant ministries and stakeholders on the quality and quantity of both surface and groundwater available in the country. It will contribute also to achieving the goals stated in the National Development Plan. Its commissioning today is a welcome news for the country. I would like to end by reiterating my government's appreciation to UNDP's continued support to the environment sector, which is among our key sectors. We thank them for this magnificent complex, which will no doubt increase our capacity as a nation to monitor our water resources. With great delight, I declare the hydrological headquarters officially open, and I thank you.
Der koinda bene hay gaban hay wayne banno hay wayne banno hay go banno